Yeah, basically, I downloaded a new model for the NPC because I didn't want to use one of the ones that I'm already going to use for the player. I've only got a limited set. They're mostly monsters. But this guy here, I figure he'll do. This is the basic bandit from Will Marillis. It's free, so you can grab that one. It's easy to use. Import him into your project. And as you can see, we've got this here now. I've also installed the DX4D combat add-on, which is a paid add-on for UMO RPG that just greatly expands on the combat system and has a lot of really cool features. So I'm using that one for this. Now if I jump onto the thing, as I was saying, so again we've got our 3D model untagged, but the layer is set to NPC, and that as it is for all the other children of that model. Excuse me. So now we need to find our basic bandit. Yeah, here he is, and we've got our prefab. We're just going to take the animator off that because we don't need it. And we have a look down. Yep, it's got basic stuff. So we are now going to drop that as a child of the 3D model. And you can see it's pretty much, it's a decent height. It's pretty much set as it is. But of course we wanted it to be just that little bit bigger. So let's give that a try 1.2, 1.2, 1.2. Just fill it out a little bit. And we're going to move that, like I was saying before, I wanted to sort of adjust the height so that it goes up somewhere. No, alright, well let's try 1.3, 1.3, 1.3. Alright, I think that looks roughly where we want it to be. So actually, you know what, we can, no, we'll still keep him on the corner here. Now that we've got that, we can actually get rid of, oops, sorry for tapping the mic there, it was in the way of the keyboard. It's going to completely delete that. That's fine, we don't need him anymore. But what we do need to do is, there was nothing on that one, was there? We need to go to the armature, we need to find the hips, and we need to add a component, and it's going to be a capsule, capsule collider. And then we need to increase the height of it so that it goes to the top and the bottom of our character, and we've got that. Now we're going to come back here to the alchemist. We've still got a controller. As it is, we need to change the avatar to the bandit avatar. So I'm going to click on that, bring this up, and I'm going to just type in bandit, basic bandit. Oh, there's two. So that one, yeah, all right. So don't get it confused with the one that's from UMO RPG. Change it to the one that comes from the basic bandit pack. Click on that, and that's almost good to go. We just need to change the collider, and you can see there's a whole lot more stuff on here because I've got the DX4D's combat pack. Now what we need to do is we need to drag the hips where we've just put that collider into this component section here where it says collider, and then that should be ready to go. And what I want to do though is I want to just double check the controller because we've got an NPC animator controller here. So I'm going to click on animator, and we've got one thing which is idle. I'm going to click on that just so we can play it, and you can see it's set up for this guy here because it's sort of rigged for that. So we want to just get our basic idle. Pretty sure the basic bandit comes with animations. So that's the armature, that's the avatar, that's a prefab. Here we go, animations. So we got idle grab, idle right to idle 1. Let's just have a look at what that is. So yep, he's doing that. Idle grab neutral. So that's just him sort of standing there trying to pick something up. Yeah, we don't really need that, so let's just go with this one. So I'm going to highlight that, and I'm going to drag idle R to idle L1. And again, this is for our alchemist, so it's already saved for him. If we want to make another one for another NPC, we can always just make a new controller. But for now, that should do for our guy. So if I were to press play and we could see him, actually we should be able to if I press play. Because I don't want to make another character because we haven't set up our new players yet. I don't want to leave that till a little bit after. Click on server and play so that it actually loads everything into the server. Take that off maximize and we'll go to scene. And okay, so yeah, we can't quite see the alchemist until until he pops up. So if we go alchemist, yeah, it's not going to render it unless our character is nearby. So yeah, as you can see here, we just turn on our skin mesh renderer and it should work. I'll have to turn all of them on so that plays it through. So he's sitting a little bit low, and he's also wobbling from side to side, which is a bit funny because you see his legs sort of sway left and sway right. a little bit weird that it does that. We can fix that up in the animation section, but I'm going to leave that for now because who cares? Cool, close, that's all selected. We can do that, and we can just apply that to our new Alchemist NPC. I'm actually going to change his name to Survivor because it, Survival, because that fits my thing properly. If I tab that so that actually changes his name, apply. If I go select, still got a name of Alchemist. I'm just going to change that to Survival. And there we go. That should link them up both properly. Alright, what next? Well, we can start with some of the monster NPCs. Let's go on with that, and then I'll set up the player last, I think. So let's come down here to our monsters. Again, we're going to need to adjust the thing. We're going to start with the skeleton, so we just need a basic monster that's going to handle that, because the skeleton is just our generic monster. I can always replace it with a skeleton as well, but for now let's just go with the generic monster. And to do that, I'm going to find my fantasy lizards, lizard warrior, fantasy villains, orc, troll, kobold. I like the goblin. Whoops, that's the cyclops. Goblin PBR. What have I done there? Oops. Prefabs, and then we go to the legacy. No, let's go with the PBR. So fine. So again, it's actually pretty much the same thing. Oh, actually, one thing I didn't do. Let me click on this guy. Sorry, I did explain this, but I forgot to actually do it. Layer, NPC. Yes, change children. And we want to apply that to our prefab. Now that should work properly. If we come back here to our skeleton, zoom back in. We're going to do the same thing if we open that up. No, it's not going to let me. Cool. 3D model. And again, we want to just drop it under the 3D model, make it a child. Okay, try that again. Drop it under the 3D model, make it a child. Why is that not working? Alright, what's going on here? Clear that. That's really weird. Why is that? Have the FBX files not come in? No, that works, so that's fine. Alright, I was just having a problem with the dragging, I guess. Oh, I know why. Okay, this is my fault. So I actually, instead of having to unpack these all over again and fill up my hard drive, I've actually copied them across from another project, which was 2018.3. So these prefabs are actually the nested prefab setup for 2018, so they're not actually going to work for me. Aha! That was a failure of foresight for me, but at least we've got the FBX files, which will work, and that's all we really need. Because the weapons will be built into the character model, they don't have to equip any extra stuff, so we'll just turn off what we don't need. Alright, so let's try that again. Going to open up a skeleton, go to 3D model. We're going to drag our goblin into the 3D model. As you can see, it's a certain height. The legs actually match up, so that is okay. Might want to make it just that slight bit bigger. Let's just go 1.1, 1.1, 1.1. Again, we don't want it to be too big because it's supposed to be a goblin. It's supposed to be shorter than the player's character. But let's get rid of this now. We can do that. That's fine. Let's go here. Let's set it to monster because this is a monster character, not an NPC. And then we need to find the skeleton. So we got the pelvis. We don't need hips, so the pelvis will do. And again, another capsule collider. Going to, so it's this one here. It's on the y-axis, but the y-axis for this character is out this way. So we just need to change that to the x-axis. And now it gives us that up and down, which is good. And just increase the height a little bit. Yep, that's pretty good for where it is. And again, we're going to come down here where it's got skeleton. We've got a controller and an avatar. We need to change that to the goblin's avatar. We can do that just easily by actually clicking and dragging this into the slot. And then if we scroll down through to here, we're missing the collider. So again, we just got to drag the pelvis, which we've put the collider on, into that slot. And now we are technically ready to go, except for one thing, that our controller for the skeleton doesn't match what we want to do. So what we're actually going to do now is I'm going to create a new entity. I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call that folder Goblin. So it's about Goblin. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change the name of this to Goblin, and I'm going to drag that down into there. And then save for the skeleton. Now that was actually an FBX of the skeleton, so it's not quite the prefab, but it doesn't really matter. It should be fine to save the prefab there. I'm going to duplicate this one, and then I'm going to copy it across into Goblin. I'm going to come back here to our Goblin character and see it's still referencing that original controller, so we need it to do this new one, and I'm going to rename that to controller Goblin just so that I know exactly which one it is, and I'm going to drag it in here. Now we can see that. Now we're going to open that up, and now we've got idle, run, normal attack, strong attack, and then drop dead. Now we've actually got with this fantasy pack, we've actually got animations for all that. So we want to have where are we? Forward, sword, shield, attack 3, forward daggers, block, death daggers, death sword shield. That's an easy one. We can just drop that straight in there. So we're just going to drop this in here, death sword shield. Now what else do we want? Get hit, no, idle aim, idle daggers, idle protect, sword shield. We can use that for our idle. Cool. And then we want to have run, sword and shield. Run, sword, shield, and now we need our attack. So we don't want to use a walk because it's going to walk after the character when it sees them, so we just want him to run everywhere. That makes it easier. 2 hit combo daggers, 2 hit combo. No, I just want one attack, one. Attack 1, forward, sword, shield. I don't want root movement because I don't want to do that. Whoops. Normal attack, attack 1, forward, shield. Yep, and then strong attack when I need one. So we can actually just do like a 2 forward, sword and shield for that one. So now when we play, we should be able to get that character moving the way we want it to. We'll test it a little bit later. But now that we've got that, let's just click apply so that our prefab is updated, and we can now start making a few copies of him if we wanted to. I'm actually going to hide the bandit for now because I don't want to put anything special, but I'm going to make more than one goblin. Control D just to duplicate it. We'll put him there, Control D, duplicate another one. And they're both going to have numbers above their head when we pop up and as part of their name, but we can deal with that later. Alright, so now let's start working on our player character, just so I can get that up and running. Player, entities player here, so we've got our warrior character. That's going to be the base that we're going to use for this one. I'm not going to use the archer at all, so we're going to drop our warrior into the scene. I'm going to leave it at its 0 point because that way we don't play with any of this sort of stuff. And it is pretty much the same as what we were doing with the monsters, but there's a little bit of different stuff that we need to sort out. So let's just have a go at dropping the character that we want to have dropped in. I'm going to go down here. I've got my male warriors, head version 1. This is just our base guy by the looks, so we're going to drop him in there. Oh, this is going to do that thing to me again. Okay. Yes, alright. How am I going to grab that with... Oh, here's our male warrior. Okay, cool. So yeah, this would be the guy with everything on him, so we're going to drop the FBX model into there. There we go. And you can see it's already actually a lot smaller than what we need it to be, but that's fine because we're going to now get rid of all these different locations because I'm not going to use that system to equip my character. I'm going to use a different one, which I'll set up at another stage. But for now we've got this, our male warrior. We need to select the player for the layer for that one. And now you can see we've got a whole bunch of stuff turned on him, but I'm going to get rid of that. We're going to go to the geo, we're going to go headgear, and you can see we've got all that sort of stuff turned off, turned on, so I'm going to turn that off. And you can see we've got our player with just the base face. He's got a big pouch, we can leave that on him, a holster, actually, one thing we're going to do is hide this mini-map marker because it gets in the way. I'm just going to tick that off for now. Legs and arms, small pouch, torso. So that's pretty much going to stay as it is, unless we change the material to something else, and we can always do that later on. So I can have, you know, when you install a new leather, it'll have a different colour to denote that it's a different item, or it might have a cool mesh effect on it that'll switch on and switch off depending on what you put on. So yeah, alright, so that's our basic guy for now. That's, yeah, the torso is that one, so there's nothing else we can really turn off to make our default, so that'll be, this is just our default guy here. Cool, alright, now we need to find the skeleton for him, so we open this up, and that's actually in the group as part of the deformation. Hip L, hip right, so our basic root section for some reason has a dagger stuck to it, so okay, cool. If I click on that, it's going to be a thing. Now we want it at hip height. We can always also do the spine, but the spine's going to move, so we just want the root component. We're going to add our capsule collider. We're going to increase the height. Again, it's on the wrong thing, so we're going to go x-axis, and we're going to just bring it back down a slight bit. Yeah, one of the other ways you can do it as well is edit the collider manually, just draw it down to where you can see the top of his head or the bottom of his feet. Let me bring that up just a little bit. I can't quite tell. Yeah, that looks alright. Tick on that. Now we're going to go back to the warrior. We've got the controller. We need to change the avatar, so I'm going to bring the avatar from our FBX file here, drag it across, cool, and then we need to go down and change the hips again, or the collider should I say, missing collider, so we want to get our root and drop it in there. And then that's almost ready to go, but again we're going to have the problem of not having the controller set up right now, because I'm not going to use the other one. I'm just going to click on that. Where are we here? I can actually just edit that directly, and the mail row is not going to matter. But I need to select this. Yep, we got that. I'm actually going to come back here. I'm going to click apply. So now when I select it, yep, it's got our new guy. We can turn the minimap marker back on, and then click apply again so that it doesn't get rid of it when we're in the game. And now when I click on warrior, that's what it loads up to. That should be fine. Now the controller, we need to change that because it's going to have animations that don't quite work with our character. So let's find where our Studio Face Punch folder is. Studio New Punch, sorry. Come here. It doesn't come with any... Nope, doesn't come with any animations, so that's fine, because what I'm going to do is I've already got a copy of the free RPG animation set, RPG character animation pack for free, and we're just going to drop some of these here. Oh, it only has unarmed though. Oh, that's that ain't going to help me none. Alright, well that's fine. We can deal with that. I might have to bring in some other attack animations later. So we're just going to go to our normal attack, and we'll just drop in unarmed attack 1. Strong hit, attack, so right, 3. So what does this actually look like if we go? Yep, cool. And then attack L1 is just a bonk. So it's like a shield bash almost. It's kind of cool. And then drop dead, let's just get death 1, that's fine. Health aura, we need to have something where he's casting. It doesn't look like there's any kind of real cast thing, so whoops, clicked on the wrong thing. Alright, we'll use that for now. That looks like it'll be pretty funny. The strong hit we've already done, so the run, we need to run forward, and an idle, so we need why is there a strafe forward? Where's the moving? Is there a moving? Like a normal walk and run? I've got an idle, so we can replace that easy enough. Ah, here we go, run forward. Use that run forward. Alright. And that should do what we need it to do, so we're just going to apply that. Now we're going to actually delete it from the scene. I'm going to select it first so I don't have to go hunting for it. Delete it from the scene, and I'm going to go to Network Manager and actually just drop Whoops, no I'm not. I'm going to find the spawn info. There we go. I'm going to drop that back over the top just so that it knows that it's definitely using that as the new one. Let's hit play and see what that looks like. Oh, it's going to come up looking a bit funky because I didn't change any of the equipment stuff on it. So go server and play. That's if it loads at all. It might have a problem. Test one. Oh no, he's alright. But yeah, so it wouldn't have loaded certain equipment pieces on him because it doesn't have it set up. So if we go here, we can see that he's got all this equipment on him. So it's listed on his character, which is fine. But it's not showing up in the 3D space. And these animations aren't too bad. Oh, of course, we forgot to adjust his size, so our survivor mate here is a little bit taller than what we want. Kill skeletons, accept. But that's not going to work when we come over here and fight our goblins. Oh dear, take it easy. Alright, health potion, gold, cool as. And if we open up our quests, that shouldn't have done anything. Yes, because he's not skeletons, he's a goblin. So I'd have to set that up so that we can kill goblins if that was our objective. See if we can go down here. Where can we go down? Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's not going to be able to get me down there, but it's going to go over the top of it because that's the closest thing. Just have a run around this level actually, see what we can find. Alright, got some kids out in the street that are having a bit of fun, that's fine. Can I get up into this room? No, not by that way. Oh cool, we've got like a little alcove down here. Oh, that looks like I was blocked off from there, that's fine. I'll have to just check out how the nav mesh works with that one. Can't get in there obviously, that's cool. Let me get down here. Yep, because this will take us down through the underpass bit. So again, we don't really want that clipping, we want to have it so it zooms the camera in or does something like that. You can see a little bit of the lighting effect in there. And we've also got this cool back alley that takes us around a path that you wouldn't normally notice. So already I didn't even have to design this level, it's already built for me, so awesome. And then we've got like a little alleyway down the back here. Again, none of the lights are properly baked, so it's going to come up as looking a bit weird. We can come down this way, can we? Oh, yeah, it's going to take us all the way around. So again, that's just a thing with the nav mesh, trying to find the right point. And we can't get down there because it's too much of a jump. So we're going to have to try and get back up. Although let's just come down here. So if I'm clicking for, I can just run with the keys. Alright. Then we can see which area takes us where. Can we get up here? No, we can't. That's fine. Can't get up there either. That's also fine. Oop. I'll stand this way. Ooh, fancy looking tree. There you go. Got a couple of little pathways to go through here. Come down the bottom and have a look at this little ruined area. Sort of clip into the wall there, it's fine. Alright, there we go. So that's sort of the limits of where we can get to with this. So we can obviously make the area a bit different, limit it down so that some of those areas that look like we can get to but we can't, we can just cull them and get rid of them. But I'm just going to leave it for now because that's a lot of work. I'm just going to bring them back here before I close it down because it will save the player location, so if I'm trying to test something later I have to walk all the way back anyway. And I'll just turn it off. Alright, so that works. Let's go back to my scene here. Now we've got to get our warrior again. Drag him back into the scene. And we want to increase the size, so we're going to go 1 point... whoa, that's not what I wanted. 1.3. Not 103, 1.3. There we go. 1.3 again. We can move him off the 0 point now because I want to actually check his height as opposed to something else that I'm using to judge my heights on. So you can see he's still a little bit shorter because the character itself is actually a bit shorter. If we pop that up to the actual 0 level though, where we're going to be, only slightly shorter. Let's go 1.4, 1.4, 0.4. Yeah, roughly there, looks fine. Yeah, I think that'll be alright. So let's just reset 0 values again, and then go apply, so our character will be 1.4 scale. Oops, F. Using the keyboard shortcut to find them again in the scene, which is F. Alright. Now we've got to change some of the other things that are on him. So if we scroll down here, we're going to look for all those stats are cool. So equip weapons, visual, skill templates, we can leave those as they are, that's fine. Effect mount, so we don't have an effect mount point. And the inventory, the default items, that's fine. Equipment info, so this is where we got this info, and now of course we don't have a location for the sword, so we're going to have to set that up. Again, I'm going to get rid of this minimap marker because I don't want to bother with it. Oops, I have to scroll back all the way now. So we need to figure out where our sword weapon's going to come from. So we need to locate our warrior, go down its group, main, deformation, spine, chest, scapula right, shoulder, it's got such a long skeleton, wrist, and weapon attachment point. There you go, that's handy, it's already got one on there, so that's cool. So now we can come back here and scroll all the way down again till we get to where we're trying to get to, and there we go, weapon attachment point right, so we can pop that there, and we'll have to adjust this in game. Actually we'll do that now rather than having to set up the other. What have I done? Hang on. Jump to the gun a little bit there, close that. We need to apply that, and then we're going to hide it in the scene. We're going to come to game and just take it off maximise on play because I don't want it to take it all up. Alright, server on play. Test. Nope. So the last time it saved I was over here, so that's what I was talking about before, where I wanted to get back to the main area. That's fine. Now we're in game mode. I want to go to scene mode. I want to find our test character, click on the sword, and get our weapon attachment point lined up to where we want it. So I'm going to pause that if I can. Adjust the positioning of the sword. Ridiculously sized sword for the occasion, but that's fine. Now, is that where I want it to be? No, I want it to sit more there. That's sort of where the pivot's supposed to be, so we can do that. I'm going to copy the component, and I'm going to unpause it, and we're going to have a look. Yeah, cool. Now let's see what it looks like when it runs. Does it follow where we want it to? Yep. Let's see what it looks like when we attack. I'm going to click on the goblin and select attack. Of course he's using the other hand for it, so that doesn't help me much at all, but that's fine. At least we got that where it needs to be. So I'm going to stop play on that one. We're going to get our warrior here, tick him back on, find where he is. And we're going to go to our weapon attachment point, and we're going to paste the component values. So we've got that there now. Apply that. And then we can come back here. Now let's, actually before we do that, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Weapon attachment point left, so we need to make sure that's going to be where our shield will be. Actually, you know what, that's not going to be where our shield will be. Let's instead duplicate that, and we're going to call that... No, I want to select the other part. No. Shield attachment point left. And we'll take away the one because we don't need it. And then we're going to go to our warrior. I'm now going to scroll down to where our weapon is, and we're going to select shield as the new one, and we're going to put in our transform for the shield. And then the head of the chest and everything like that else can be its own thing, so you can see it's got nothing in there. The legs and that do, but they're not finding any way to attach that stuff, so that's perfectly fine. We can leave that for now. What we'll do is we will apply that to our model, take it off. I'm going to press play, and it should bring up our character with a shield. Alright, use our little doodad with a shield. Run him out here so I can see a bit better. So now you can see that he's holding the shield on his arm. And we need to select that and change that up a little. So let's click on our test bloke. Let's go to our scene. Hit F to find him. And now we've got our shield. We want to change the attachment point, so not the shield itself, but the attachment point. I'm just going to pause it too. And there we go. Do I want to move it around from there? Try rotating it around so that it actually has the shield upright. Whether that changes the other shields that are coming on, this could just be this shield itself. Yeah, I'm happy with the way that looks, so I'm going to again copy the component, going to unpause it, and we're going to go test it out. As you can see, the shield's pretty big compared to the guy, but the same as the sword, so we just have to replace it with better parts. Sort of Captain America in the guy there. That's cool. Alright. That's it. That's our dude sorted out. So now we've got that, we need to come to our warrior. Need to find the shield attachment point. And then paste component values. Apply. Oops, sorry, before we apply, we need to actually make sure that he's up and running. And then click apply. And now when we come in, both our sword and shield should be where it needs to be. Other than that, I'm not going to change any of the other equipment stuff at this stage because I'm going to use another system for the equipment locations. But we can try replacing the sword and whatnot. So let's go do that then. Let's go Sun Sword. And you can see here it's actually going to take a model prefab. If we can find another sword as a prefab, let's see what we've got. No, don't want that. Don't want that. Is this two-handed sword? Oh, cool. Good for them. So we've obviously got a lot. We've got a lot of different things that say sword, so it's not going to be the easiest for us to find. Alright, let's have a look at some of our other arts folders. So we've got New Punch, we've got, oops, Male Warrior, Group Power Mask. No, it doesn't have any weapons in that. This one here has some weapons, but that will be FBX, that'd actually be part of the character itself. Oh, I might have some here. Props, rocks, banners, no. Yeah, I think these ones are all on it as well. So I'll have to actually get a sword pack, I think, and download that and then use that for it. That's alright, we'll get onto that later. For now, we know that they go where we want it to go. So what we're going to do now is we're going to grab our warrior again. Oh dear, why is it gone and try to find me everything? Prefab, warrior. Warrior, that's not the one we wanted. We wanted our prefab one, which is in resources. No, prefabs, entities, players, warrior. There we go. I'm going to bring that in. We're going to rename this male. Oh, actually, before we do that, Control Z. I'm going to delete that character so that it's not trying to find it. Server and play, we're going to delete our test one, and then we're going to quit. so that'll remove it from the database, but the database will still hold some of the details of it. But we can now go here, drag the warrior in, and we're going to rename this to male, capitalise the name, or even we can actually change it here to male. I want to capitalise the M, please. Thank you. Alright, so now that's our male, and this is our male character in the game. We're supposed to have the thing on, but that's fine. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to call this one female, and let's put on our female character. So we're going to do pretty much the exact same thing, but we're going to have the female character placed onto it instead. So let's go to where is our studio new punch, wasn't it? Female warrior. There we go. Prefab model female warrior 01. We can now drop that in here. There we go. And it's roughly same height, just a little bit thinner. That's cool. We still need to do a few things, like we need to copy across the shield point, but because the arms are different, we're going to have to set that up again. So we'll just do that manually. It doesn't take super long to do it anyway, so that's fine. Root, we're going to add the capsule collider again. We're going to set it to the x-axis, and we're going to give it the height adjust. So we need to find the head. Oh, okay, so it's sort of on a slight slant there. When we do that, that's fine. Let's just set it to the top and roughly the bottom. It doesn't really matter too much that it's on a slant. It's not going to throw it off that much. It just needs to know the height of the character, basically. Now we've got that, so we can come up to here on this one. We can find the female FBX avatar, pop that in there, and we can keep the same animations. That's fine. We'll need to come down to here and change it from that one to this one, because this is our female one, and we can now actually just delete the male warrior. That's fine. And then we want to save this as another prefab, so we're going to select that, and it's showing us the male one here. Well, we've got a new version of it now, so we're going to save that one as a whole new prefab, call it female. There we go, and that'll just replace our archer one, so we're not even going to use the archer one at all. So let's go with that there, female, and let's go with spine, chest. Let's get our areas down pat. Weapon attachment, we're going to Control D. Shield attach point. Left, leave that there, and then we've got to go do the same for the right. Oops, cancel, slip of the mouse. And then that one there. So we click back on our top layer. Scroll down to here where we've got this. So it's of course missing the transforms for those because I deleted them. So that's our sword, and that's our shield. And then we'll have to go in and edit those ones as well. So now we've got that. Let's go apply. And then we need to come up to our network manager, and we're going to replace the archer with a female one. So we're going to go now here, female, and it's already set up as a player character. So now when we start the game, alright, we hit server and play. Create, we've got male and female. We want to test with the female character, so we go select. Oh no, our player's not going. What have we done? Oh dear. Can anyone here guess what's wrong? Because I already know the answer. Sort of struck me just as I loaded in. I went, hang on. But I'll give you a few seconds to figure it out and then shout it at me. Not that anyone's watching and anyone's saying anything. But that's cool. Let's sort that out for you now. So if we have a look on our character here, we've done everything right. We brought it into the 3D model section, but we forgot to tick this layer to player. So we can tick that there. Yes, change children. But that's not obviously going to work because that's on our base one. But we'll bring in the 3D model now and we'll change it on the fly. Player, yes. And you can see now we can see our character. So there you go. That was all it was. It was just we didn't have it set to player layer. We've also forgot to turn off all the headgear. We'll do that when we jump back in as well. Alright, but for now, let us jump back to the scene. hit F to find our character. Let's click on the, if I can click on it, click on the sword. Jeez, can you stop moving around? Alright, well there's the shield, we'll do the shield first. Going to pause it, going to rotate it around and around. And it's a very big shield. Set it back on the hand a little bit. So now we've got that point. Okay, cool. Copy component. We're going to pause it. Oh, sorry, take it out of the thing. We're going to turn our female character back on. And to click on here, going to come down to the shield attachment point. We're going to paste the component values first. Then we're going to select our warrior and click player. Yep, change to children. And then we need to turn off some of the stuff. So the helmet, helm mask, hood. There's a sheet apparently. I don't know what that does. Oops. I think it means sheath. Alright, cool. Good for them. And you got the hair, pouches, and everything else is as it is, so that's pretty cool. Alright. What else do we need to do? That was it for that, so we need to apply that. Go apply. Hide it again. Now when we jump in, that should have fixed some of those problems. Yep, server and play. Woo 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 woo. And here's our cool, groovy looking female character. Alright. Now we need to change the sword. Oh, I have to. Here we go, it's just over here, I need to find it. So clicking on that, we're going to click on pause, we're going to click on the sword, get the attachment point lined up for that. Alright. Move it down a little bit, twist it a little bit, and change that to local. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to click on. Why did that do it like that? Okay, my bad. Bring it down just that little bit more. That's actually aligning it to this particular model too. It's not to say that the other models are going to fit right, we might have to tweak it again. But this is just the basic attachment point. We can always change it if we've got different models that have different things. And we've done that. Now we need to find our player model again, weapon attachment point. Paste component values, tick it on, apply, tick it off, and delete it from the scene. Now we can try out our dude. There we go, server and play, and when we look in, there we go, our player is ready to go. Yeah, just also standing on the spot, so that's good. Move that along. We've got our character. Oh, how does she stack up to height-wise? A lot shorter than the male character by the looks, so we need to maybe buff her up slightly. So let's just have a look. If we grab our character and we go 1.5, just give her an extra increase in size. That's just enlarging everything. Actually looks a little bit like Brienne of Tarth now. Very weird, elongated body and lankiness. I have to see how she stands up against here. Yeah, that's alright, maybe she's an elf, who knows. You know, let's just bring it back down to 4, so we keep the scale that the actual models have in the same realm. That should be alright if we go like that. Alright, so now we've got our two characters. I really want to change those things though. Alright, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go to build settings. I'm going to add the open scene. I'm going to remove this one if I can, because it's supposed to be world dirty. Add open scene, there we go. Yep, that I'm going to switch to an intermission. I'm going to start building it now and we'll see how that And we are back. So, sorry that took a little while, but of course, I had to build out all the shaders and all that sort of craziness. Now I want to, there we go. Alright, we're back in. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to start up the system. As soon as it lets me get back onto it, there we go. Going to server and play. I'm going to select our cool dude character as the lady. We're going to leave her there. And I'm going to actually start the application that I've built out. And then I'll drag it across. And I need it to be windowed. And I'm going to say 1280 by 720. I want it to be fantastic. Here we go. And I was going to call this admin 2. Whoops, I don't want a server and play. That was silly. Click the wrong button. Alright. Admin 2, we want to log in. It's going to find that there's already a game going on from the local server. Going to click create, and we're going to leave it as a mail. I'm going to call it create. I'm going to select him, and now we've also spawned into the world. And now, as you can see, we've got our player over there. We've got our male and female characters in the game. Yeah, roughly the same height. And not too bad going up against the height of this guy. All looks rather natural, that's fine. So let's see what happens if we move over here. Then I bring the female over. We can see she's also in the game, and we can see each other in the game, so that's cool. Now let's highlight that. Going to draw him over. Going to run over this way. Let's watch it on this one. Whoop, we're all sort of zoomed in there. That's weird. 1 times, please. Oh no. I'll avenge you. There we go. And then if we jump back across to our dude, you've died. Oh. Staring. Oh man, those eyes are creeping me out. That's a dead eyes right there. And now, of course, we've spawned back at our spawn point, which is cool. And can I loot this corpse, seeing as I didn't kill it? I think I can. Yes, I've taken your loot. Get wrecked. Why have you done this to me? Woo, 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 woo. Alright, awesome. So now all we really need to do is just start changing around the weapons, create a few more monster characters, and then I can look at setting up one of the dungeons. Actually, I might even do the dungeon now, but I'm going to take a break for a little bit, so I'll probably be back in maybe an hour or two. I've got to work on a couple of VR things, and then I'll pop back into this and I'll set up a basic dungeon. Thanks for checking out the stream.